welcome, folks, to, well, it's January 2025. So date today, or the date we're recording this, is the 1st of January 2025. So welcome to a happy new year, hopefully. Obviously, the new year is quite a good energetic day to start this type of work. And obviously, we connected with Chen, had a quick chat, and let him suggest which day he wanted us to do this recording. So hence he picked the January the 1st, New Year's Day. So most people are on holiday and we're working, as per usual, which is always the way, really. So hopefully you guys had a good Christmas, a good break, good holidays, and the start of a good new year. So we're going to get straight off into getting Chen in, basically, to have a chat, cover some of the things he wants to talk about to start with in terms of new year, new energy, that kind of stuff. So we've got no idea what he's likely to say, of course.
That's
always part of the fun for Jayne, really. Not for me, so I disappear. So, you know. And then obviously we've got a list of questions that were put forward in December that we're going to run through. So Chen chat questions, the same as we always do. So with that said, I will leave you guys in peace. Hopefully you'll behave yourself because it's a new year and all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you when I get back. Okay, so I'll hand over to Chen. Good day, my dear.
Hello, Chen. All right.
Yeah, it's a miraculous day to be doing this type of work.
I know. Yes.
First of a new year.
Yes, we listen, you see.
Yeah, sometimes you listen.
Sometimes we do.
Sometimes you act, of course, too. This time you did listen and you did act,
We did.
which is always quite nice.
Did. Yes. Well, welcome back.
Yes, it seems like quite a while since we last did this conversation, but I'm sure we'll get to grips with things in the new year, my dear.
Yes, I'm sure we will. Yes.
So there is lots of work for you both to do, and we do acknowledge from a spiritual perspective that you are working continually. So it's not as though you're sat on a beach with your feet up sunbathing, which I'm sure you would like to do. But of course the work must continue.
Yeah, I know.
When you take your last breath, my dear, and you arrive back on my side, you can have all the rest that you require.
Well, thank you very much. I can't really say I look forward to that, but
No.
you know, we'll.
And hopefully that won't be too soon either, of course.
No. Well, it was nice to have a chat with you the other day as well. I know it didn't go out on air, but it's always nice to connect with you.
Yes, and I think it's essential for people to know that we are checking in continually. So you and I and Andrew are continually talking, and we're continually passing messages.
Yes.
And of course, I speak to Andrew on a daily basis when he's doing his clearings and his work. So that conversational information flow is continual, really, from our perspective.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a good year. I can feel it in my bones.
Oh, can you? In Andy's bones?
Or in his bones. Yes. His bones aren't so good. They're not quite beautiful
as
they used to be.
No, neither of us are.
No, we're aging, my dear. It's part of the aging.
I know. Oh, my goodness.
I heard you the other day saying, goodness me, aging doesn't come alone.
Old age doesn't come alone, yes.
What a wonderful phrase.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? I know. We sort of thought when we got to 40 and things started to sort of go, but when you get to 50, oh my goodness. And now I'm nearly 60.
Yeah. And you're still here, you're still kicking.
Yeah, I'm still here, still kicking.
Yes, my dear, that's very good. You're still in the game, as we say.
Yes.
Yes, and what a game it is too.
A few more ailments, but you're helping me along, aren't you?
Well, we do what we can.
Yes. Thank you. Have you got a message for everybody for the new year? Or
yes, it'd be delightful to provide a message. So I think from my perspective, obviously opening up, so the start of a new year, this is January the 1st, and of course it is the year 2025. So everyone can do the numerology and the math to work out that the first of anything, especially a new year, is new. It's new vibrational, new energy. There's so much new, or so many, should I say, new things happening on planet Earth. And there's some instrumental change happening from a global psychological and consciousness perspective. So more and more people are waking up to the way that the world works. They're waking up to the spiritual aspect of their own lives and how those two dovetail together. Because, of course, so many people don't realize that your life, your physical life and the choices that you make have a spiritual impact. And, of course, the spiritual choices you make and the way that you converse, the way that you speak, the words that you use, and the terminology have a vibration and they have a frequency.
Yes.
And these things, and this changes everything. So when you listen to people speak to you, people that are speaking that are inspirational, that are motivational, that are positive, you feel that motivation come into you, and then you you feel jolly good in yourself.
Yes.
If someone's talking about negative things, about war, death, disease, those sorts of things, those words are very negative. They have a very low vibration when they're constructed together in sentences or paragraphs. And of course, they affect you emotionally and mentally. So part of the conversation from my perspective today is let's start to filter information that we allow into our field. Let's start to only allow positivity in.
Yes.
So when you're in a room,
advice.
Someone's annoyed, someone's creating chaos, because there are plenty of narcissistic, chaotic monkeys around that like to live in that vibration. But if you've got someone in your space or in your field that's living in chaos and they're shouting and they're angry and they're vibrating at a very low frequency, they have rage and anger and probably trauma and pain. These are people to move away from your sphere. Generally your family and friends, of course. So this is where you have to start to filter who you spend your time in and around, because they affect you. And for you to move into a positive vibration, to start to feel better and healthier in yourself, you need to change your choices, and obviously make choices that you only allow this positivity in, because every cell of your body, of which there are trillions of cells inside your body, probably more, all vibrate at different frequencies, but they're all actually vibrating in tune with sound. So if you're in a space where people are negative and angry and saying hurtful things, that changes you, changes your vibration. And of course, this causes disease. So people, again, that live in angry situations. And some of you, of course, listening, have jobs whereby you work in health services, in hospitals, in the medical profession.
Mental health.
Yes. Psychiatric units.
Yes.
So you're on the front lines, basically, to have your own vibratory frequencies impacted by people around you that are very negative and angry. And this is where these jobs are required, of course, and they're delightful jobs to do, to help others in humanity. But you must learn to protect your own frequency and protect yourself. And when you get home, you could have a nice hot bath with some sea salt or some type of cleansing
essential oils.
Yes, breathe in something that makes you smell better, and you enjoy the frequency of the smell and the essential oils and such like.
Yes.
And you basically release all of that negativity that you've picked up during the day. And then a quick meditation.
I was going to say meditation.
Yes, I know, my dear, you're new to this concept. We talk about meditation as part of what we do every day. And young Andrew, I said to him, when did you meditate last? He says, I don't have time to meditate. I'm too busy doing your work. And of course, we roar with laughter.
Yes.
And he says to me, I do waking meditations. And I thought to myself, that's jolly clever of him. So he's awake consciously, but he says he finds peace in his own mind when I'm not talking to him, of course. And this is his way, or his version, of finding that solace and controlling that mental state. So waking meditation is very clever.
Yes, very, very. Yeah, so I've been enjoying doing some meditations, actually.
Yes.
I have I've been doing a few of Andy's, but I've also got an app on my phone called the Insight Timer. And there's some amazing ones on there. So I just sort of quiet my mind a little over Christmas.
And meditation does change your brainwave state. It's been scientifically proved, I think, now by our good friends, the scientists, that assume they know everything and know generally nothing at all. But of course, they have actually proved that the brainwave state changes when you move into meditation.
Yes.
And we all know that speaking to other energies and entities like myself and spirit, the only way you can do that is to use telepathy. And to use telepathy, you have to change your brainwave state, and you have to become more receptive to be able to communicate in the way that we speak. And certainly this version, whereby another spiritual entity takes possession of a physical body, is another step down the line to learn to do those things. But meditation is the key, and it's a golden key. But of course, it's a key that requires some time and patience.
So your message is for 2025, boundaries and protection.
Yes.
Meditation, self-care, self-spiritual care.
Self-assertiveness, really.
Yes. Okay.
And service to self. I do promote this, my dear. We
I know.
speak about it sometimes. But so many people say service to others first. And I don't agree.
You don't, do you?
I think service to self first.
Yeah, we have a reminder, don't we, from you?
Yes, quite often. But when you're servicing yourself and you maintain and look after your own mental health and your physicality, that puts you in a place to be able to look after other people.
Yeah.
Service to others first means that you basically have no boundaries generally, and people clamber over those boundaries and take advantage of you.
Yes.
And so many people listening to this conversation will probably acknowledge the fact that they're lovely, nice people, but they don't have a very firm boundary and they get taken advantage of.
Well, I think when you've never really put up boundaries and you start doing that, initially you feel quite bad about it. You feel quite guilty about having to do this. But in actual fact, it brings your life so much more peace.
Yes, because of course chaos is snapping at your heels.
Yes, yes.
Every one of you have families, and you were elected to engage in confrontational families. Everyone has a problem member in their family. Everyone has confrontation with parents and people.
Normal, isn't it?
Yes, of course it is normal. But of course, this is where you have to learn to have boundaries, and parents have to put their children in a fenced boundary. Otherwise, they become feral. You only have to look at nature, look at a pack of dogs, and what happens. The mother soon dictates what's happening to the litter, because the moment they start to step out of line or do things she doesn't want, she generally grabs them quite hard.
Yes, they know. Yeah.
And they get told what's happening.
Yes, they do get told.
So nature shows you that even though you love your children or your families, you have to put them inside a boundary. They have to know where the boundary is.
Okay, thank you very much,
my dear. I think
yes,
2025
yes, I think we've
boundaries.
Yes, yes. Okay, we're listening. And of course, the other thing, 2025 all does actually add up to 9, the power number, doesn't it?
Very good, my dear.
Yes, we're actually working it out.
Yes, I'm liking the fact that yourself and young Andrew are starting to work with numbers.
Power numbers, yes, we are.
So this is what we're quite keen to do with you two, is to pick the right days and the right numbers to release audio and visual information, because of course it's a vibratory change, and it aligns astrologically. So when we start to work and do things and we actually embrace the astrological aspects of numerology, then that changes things in a big way. And for all those people listening, for those of you that started new businesses or new jobs or looking to do things or release things, spending a few moments to work out the math and do the numerology, you will find significantly increases the probability of success.
Oh, yes. Okay, there we go. So also putting a thought out there about what you actually want, what you want to achieve this year. It's a powerful year, isn't it? So
yes, I quite like the things that you used to do, my dear. You used to sit down and do the cutting and sticking and gluing.
Oh, yes. I thought you were going to say New Year resolutions. We've given up on those, really.
Well, it's still...
but it's the same type of thing, yes.
It's still intentional.
Wishboard.
A wishboard?
Yes, we used to do wishboards.
Yes, they're quite good fun.
Yeah, they are actually.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you look at the wishboards that you've done, those that you have up in the loft that you haven't seen for years, generally most of the things that are on the wishboards have been manifested into reality.
Yes. A good number of them. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. That's your little entrance into 2025 for us. Thank you.
Yes, as you know, my dear, I could rattle on for hours and things, but I'm aware that
and nobody minds.
There is a time constraint, of course.
Well, nobody minds. Everybody loves listening to you. So we've got a few questions.
Yeah.
Right. So the first one is about twin flames. So Irina Nola says, is it possible to disconnect from a toxic twin flame or soulmate with SRT? People with whom we have holographic resonance due to the same frequency?
Yes, it's a very interesting question.
Yes.
So again, different words, twin flame, soulmate, those things are the same type of concept, because everything is energy. So of course you can disconnect from anyone, even a twin flame. Twin flame is another part of your energetic construct, but using your intentional choice, and of course you can use meditations and such like, or just put the thought out, or you can ask your guides to disconnect you from someone's energy or anyone's energy. So those of you that have had relationships that have fallen apart and broken down, and you then distance yourself, it's always good to basically visualize effectively burning the energetic cords that will have remained between you, because of course when you have a relationship with someone, especially as an adult, there's a sexual element too, and of course this is energy that bonds people. So when relationships finish and break, it's good to basically clear the old resonant frequencies that existed when you were together in a harmonious setting.
Okay. Yes, thank you. Yep, that makes perfect sense. Thank you very much. Brittany Augustine sent in a couple, so I've amalgamated them. I know that you never mind multiple questions. She's asking, can you tell us anything about our blood types and the clues that they give us on who we are? And also, since we're made up of 80% water, if we get tattoos that say things, can they affect our water in our system, the way that writing underwater affects that?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Two very interesting questions.
Yes, I'm liking these.
Yes.
Yes. So obviously, when we're talking about tattoos
Yep.
and obviously water, every molecule in your body, every cell contains water. So of course, you can freeze water, as you know, and it expands, you can contract it. But there's been lots of work done when you actually use intention with water, water changes frequency. So if you write bad, naughty words or aggressive or angry words on a piece of paper, and then put a glass of water on top. Of course, you can't see it, but the water changes its molecular structure to be quite negative and quite disorganized. And of course, if you write loving words and positive words on a piece of paper and put a glass of water on top, then of course that molecular structure changes and becomes positive. So tattoo is the same concept. You're still using intention to actually write on your skin. And of course, blood's flowing through your body continually, and blood's made up of water too. There's a water element to it, a liquid element. So all liquids will basically change vibration based upon the intentional words and the organization of the frequency.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes.
So what do you actually, the symbols or words that you actually have tattooed make quite a remarkable...
Make huge changes. So people that write the words death and angry and hate,
yes,
love and hate on their knuckles.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah.
At the time. It's not a particularly good thing to do because, of course, you're bringing your vibration down, and of course, you're also aligning yourself to a frequency. So people that have tattoos of positive things, angelic entities, fairies, sacred geometry, those sorts of things used in a positive way are obviously protecting their field, because of course your etheric field is what we're actually talking about to a certain degree. People that have demons and devils and all of the negative imagery on their body will attract those entities into their space. So it's not a big surprise to think that people that are into negative music that's very aggressive, using aggressive negative words that contain hate and those sorts of things, will attract entities into their field of the same vibration. And of course, that brings them down into that space. But of course, because it's a tattoo, it can't easily be removed. So people would need to think about who's doing the tattooing. If you're having a tattoo done by a positive person that has a positive vibration, then their energy is also imbued into your body, into your etheric field, effectively.
Yes.
If you're sat with someone who's into demons, devils, and everything negative, satanic things, and he's doing the tattooing or she's doing the tattooing, of course, then effectively their energy that's very negative is now pushed into your body and your field as that tattoo's been created. Yeah. So it's a very interesting question.
It is, yes.
And obviously from a blood perspective, talking about blood types. So blood types obviously dictate effectively who you are and where you're from to a certain degree. So obviously white people have a consistency to their blood. Black people, Chinese people, different coloured people have different types of blood. And of course the blood types dictate your genealogy, where you're from, who you are, what you exist with.
Yes.
So blood is and obviously this is why the powers that be pay so much attention to blood, because bloodlines are very, very important to who you are, because of course this is the energy that's flowing through your body effectively. So blood is a very interesting conversation, and of course it's the key to health. Trying to keep your blood clean and clear of negative things, parasites, bacteria, viruses, is part of everyone's job. And of course, as soon as you eat something, what you eat is seen in the blood. So people that work with blood and people that do those sorts of jobs know very well that they can test your blood and find out what you eat, what you drink, the general state of your health. So it's an instrumental part of who you are as a human being.
Yes. Well, that makes perfect sense. Thank you very much.
So, my dear, when you have your next tattoo,
I haven't had a first one yet.
First tattoo, you have to think very closely about who's going to do it and the type of imagery that you choose.
Yes. Did you know that we're thinking about getting one then?
Of course.
Yeah. You've been listening, haven't you?
We listen to these things, not in a negative way.
No, I know.
Not in a nosy way, as you would say.
No.
But of course, we're around you most of the time, so we are able to listen to conversations in that way.
Yes. And thank you for the advice then.
Yes. It's a very good question.
Okay, so moving on. Angel Melchizedek. I'm sorry, that's probably a terrible pronunciation of your name. Howdy doody Chen, Andy and Jayne, love you all. If someone is a medium, is it not possible that they will hear incoming messages in their own voice instead of hearing the voices of others? Thank you all and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays and Happy New Year.
Yes, that's a very nice question. Happiness to everyone, of course. Yes, I mean, basically, if you're a medium, basically everyone's a medium. Every single person on the planet is a medium. They're mediums in training generally because, of course, the schooling system across the world shuts you down. So children are mediums until they're probably 2 or 3, and then as soon as they go to school, the school system's designed to turn off the spiritual aspect, and then they lose connection to their grannies, their aunties, their granddads, their family, ancestral members that they can see. And this is why small children always point into different parts of the room. It's why they're laughing quite a lot of the time, because of course they can see interdimensional frequencies and they can see ancestors generally.
Yes, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then they're taught to be frightened of them, you see, aren't they?
Of course.
Yes.
And when we look at the actual programming, so when you look at the cartoons, lots of the Disney things that go out, it's all about, there's always a baddie that's after you. You're always needing to be frightened in your bedroom, etc.
Yeah.
So if you look at lots of the films that children are exposed to, there is this subliminal aspect of the programming that's designed to make them afraid and bring their vibration down.
Yes.
Of course. So everyone is a medium. So people that are mediumistic are telepathic. They can talk to other energies that you can't see, such as myself. So I can talk to you. Of course, I'm spiritual energy, so I can talk to anyone that's a medium in that way. Of course, most mediums know that they can dial up and connect to other energies. Most mediums have a spirit guide that is their gatekeeper or a protective energy that they talk to, in the same way that Andrew and you, of course, to talk to myself. So I'm effectively a gatekeeper and a guide rolled into one from Andrew's perspective, and most of the conversation he has is only with me. And we qualify it together. So of course, but mediums.
But you pop in to other mediums, don't you? Just as all spirit do.
Anyone that's telepathic that's a medium can request a conversation with myself, and I may or may not have that conversation. But of course, my choice is to work with Andrew and yourself, of course, for this physical life that you two are both experiencing.
Yes, experiencing. Yes.
Yes. So of course, the medium will hear voices, and the voices would sound like their own voices.
Okay. Yes, that's what she's asking.
Of course, it's in their own mind, effectively. But it's telepathic. It's telepathy.
Yes. So it is coming from external source, but you're hearing it in your own voice.
So young Andrew would hear it in his voice when I speak to him. But of course, he knows my personality, and we laugh and we joke and we talk about different things. So he's very aware, because years and years have gone by, that I have a personality that he is very au fait
in tune with. Yes, definitely.
So if an imposter guy presented as myself, Chen, very quickly he would notice that the actual ambience wouldn't feel right. The energy would feel completely wrong. And of course, that imposter wouldn't be able to mimic me.
No, and of course, you have such a light-hearted personality. I think most people would actually realise when it wasn't you.
Yes.
Actually.
You would hope they would.
Yes. Unfortunately, sometimes they don't today. But
things are angry and aggressive. So imposter guys that are trying to break these connections and come in and present themselves as a guide to someone, they're generally negative. They have a negative vibration, and they can't help but to expose themselves.
And a negative intention, isn't it?
Yes. So if you listen to what someone says, as a medium or someone psychic or a channeler that's giving information, if that information doesn't resonate in a positive way, it's probably not positive.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Well, hopefully it does answer your question, Angel, but even when you're hearing spirit, they will sound like they'll come in as if you're hearing your own voice. Okay, thank you very much. So Heather Nord says, greetings, folks. Thank you for all your hard work. How do you determine which attachments stay and which are sent away? I understand the basics about those who take from us or negatively affect us, and earthbounds needing to go. Blessings for us all.
Yes, a very interesting question. So the way that we see things, certainly from a spiritual perspective, is that you're a core energetic being. You have a physical body, of course, and you have a spiritual etheric field. And everything to do with you should be your own sovereignty. So everyone should have nothing else connected to them at all. no negative cords, no portals, no interdimensional parasites, no entities, no discarnate spirits. So you should be in your own bubble, effectively.
Yes.
It's just you. And this is what we term as sovereignty. So if you're in your own bubble, which is only your energy inside, then you're a sovereign individual.
Yeah.
If your bubble's perforated and there's anything else in there that is a lower vibration than your core frequency, then we would say you've got attachments and there's some type of negativity connected. So from our perspective, we never allow anything negative to stay inside a client's field. Everything that has a low vibration is cleared. And again, some people like to have their parents or their grandparents or their children, if they've passed, around them.
Yes.
But this is still negative because, of course, that energetic resonance is still in your field. It removes your sovereignty. So even if you've had a child that's died, you can converse with that child if you chose to, but they should be outside of your field, not inside it.
Okay.
And this is a mistake that quite a lot of people make.
Yes.
They want their direct family members or their ancestors or their parents or children
to be around them.
To be around
yes,
them.
it's understandable.
But they should be externally around them, not internally.
Yes. Yes, that makes sense. I know I did ask you the other day, didn't I, if Dad had been around me a bit, because I sort of felt that he had. But I do my bubble every morning, so hopefully it works.
Well, he is around, but he is external.
Yes. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Joanne Clark, our friend Joanne. Hi, Chen et al. What's the best we can hope for with changes in the world to be our own divine selves and hold the world in light? I thought it was a lovely question.
That's a big question.
It is a big question. Yes,
it's a big question. How long have you got, my dear?
Well,
so it's a big question.
In summary.
So obviously everything is changing on planet Earth. Everything's always been changing on planet Earth.
Yes.
There is energetic change, and there is, as we know, the conscious awareness of the group, effectively, the humanity as a collective, will steer vibration. So if everyone's in a state of fear and negativity, that keeps the vibration low. If it keeps the vibration low, it pulls in or attracts more negativity in terms of entities, in terms of lots of other things too. And then, of course, what happens on a world stage is we see lots of negative things happening.
Yeah.
If people as humanity change their thought process, as we talked about at the start, my dear, we become positive. We think positive. We filter all the negative. We don't allow negativity into our space. We don't connect to negativity. We don't watch negativity. When the media is broadcasting images of people dying at war, we turn it off because we don't need to see it because it's negative.
Yes.
And it's being used to manipulate. So if we all start to move our vibration, our thought process collectively into a positive space, the vibration on the planet rises exponentially, actually, and that then changes world events. So, and of course, people have to change their choices. So if we have world governments that are negatively controlled, which most of them are and have been for a long, long time, then to make them change, there has to be some type of conscious awareness change too. And that means the general populace have to want change. So this is the key. But from a spiritual perspective, to all of you that are watching that are spiritual, you can't involve yourselves or engage in any type of physical connection to anything around you. So we wouldn't say that you should do anything at all physically to make change, but you can make energetic and spiritual change with your mind, and this will change the game, because the moment you start to vibrate at a higher frequency, you join other people, you join groups, you join classes, you learn about your protection.
This is already happening.
Yes, you change you, and then you tell other people that, goodness me, I feel so much better. You must join these too. So collectively, we start to grow this audience who resonate with a much higher vibration. And of course, this will instrument change.
Okay, so would it be right to say, I mean, obviously spiritual people come together, they find groups like us and, other groups. But if they're just working on their own and don't know anybody else, is it true to say that that's not as powerful as when we all come together and all work together?
Yeah, so everyone can work individually, which of course is fine. But as groups come together to do group work, this is game changing.
Yeah.
So you can imagine if we were to run a meditation, we had 10,000 people around the world connected at the same time in all of their different countries, and we ran 20 or 30-minute positive meditation. That changes the vibration and it cascades across the whole world.
Let's give it a go then.
Yes, my dear, that would be on our list of things to do, I think.
Okay, right.
Yes.
Okay.
We shall hold you to that.
Okay. So a evening meditation with Chen or whatever. Yep. Okay. Well.
Yes, I think we need to plan these things, and maybe irregular ones.
Well, we could do regular ones, but we could make it in maybe not imminently, so that it gives us time to get the word out there. And
yes,
okay,
I think it's a jolly good idea, my dear.
There we are, Joanne.
Yes. And Joanne,
we'll let you know,
is very good at organising things too.
Yes, you remember, yeah.
So all of you that are organisational people, you can bring together groups together. So again, we can start something here today, more than likely, and we can try and connect with other groups of people and bring in these new vibratory frequencies in a positive way across the world. And that would be quite astonishing.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Food for thought. Good, big ideas.
Yes, big ideas have to start small.
They do, yeah. Okay, there you go, Joanne. You've started something today.
Yeah, oak trees grow from a tiny, tiny acorn.
Yes,
and look what they become.
Okay, right. Yep, that's given me a good idea. Thank you very much. Rinny Robinson. Hi, Chen, Andy, and Jane. My question is, if we want to call upon spirit guides to protect others, like family members, do we call on our own guides to protect them? Do we call upon their guides to protect them? Or do we call upon universal guides like Chen, yourself, and the archangels? Please and thank you.
Yes, interesting question.
Yes.
So obviously everyone has their own guide, and their guide's job basically is to guide you along your spiritual path. So you're supposed to go through certain events, generally traumas and problems in your life, and your guide has the job to do that. So if you're trying to protect other people, family members, friends, other people that you know, acquaintances and such like, obviously they have their own guides. Their guides are focused on that person's path. So protecting them wouldn't really come into their remit per se, because they should be doing that themselves, of course. So it's a self-responsibility conversation.
Yes.
But therefore, of course, your guides can do that, or you can invoke guides like myself and my team to do that. And that's what we do, of course, every day, my dear. When we perform appointments on people and we clear them, their guide stands aside. When I turn up with my team to work on a client, their own guide basically smiles, steps backwards. Obviously, their field can have all sorts of things in. Some may bow, generally not.
Welcome, Chen.
But effectively, we come in with truth and integrity, and with a very high positive vibration to clear and remove the field. So the guide knows that this is a positive event and action that's taking place, and they don't do anything themselves, because, of course, all of us in the spirit world have our own jobs. It took me years, as you know, my dear, to work with young Terence, where we developed this protocol to learn to clear people from all of these types of negativity.
Yeah, so it took a long time, didn't it, to get it right?
10 years, yes, years and years, 10 years probably of work, daily work, 10 years of daily work.
Thank you, Terry.
For us to be able to, and of course, Terence has stood next to me, smiling and laughing.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, he wasn't known for his laughter, of
no,
course,
he wasn't.
But Terence is Terence, and he hasn't changed too much. He's still working from behind the scenes, of course, which is good. But this is the thing, is that people's own spirit guides won't be skilled to do this type of thing, which is why they step back and they allow us to come in as a team, and we connect to obviously some quite difficult energies, and we clear and remove them from people. So you can invoke your own guides, you can invoke myself and the team, or of course there are higher guides, angelic guides and such like that you can also request the assistance of, but probably asking for a family member's guide to do something is a bit like asking a plumber, let's say, to fix your car.
Command a light switch. Yes. Okay.
They don't have the skill set to do that.
No. Okay. Thank you. Hope that answers your question, really. The last one is from our friend Jess Ware. Hi, Chen. When my little daughter talks out loud to you, can you hear her? And also, what do you think about what she said about you having a burnt rice ball on the top of your head? Thanks, dude.
Very amusing.
That's why I popped it in on the end.
A lovely question to end with. Obviously, we can hear everyone that's telepathic. So when you speak, if you direct your energy and conversation to myself or any other guide, we of course can hear.
Yes.
So we do hear that. And of course, we play games and we laugh back. The rice ball, of course, is quite funny because it does look a bit like a rice ball.
And appeals to your sense of humour.
And it's quite amusing. Of course, I do have part of my life. Obviously, I did have, different ages. I had different presentations, let's say.
Yes.
So I didn't always have the rice ball in my head, but it is very funny. And I think it's a very humorous ending to this conversation. So thank you.
Yes. So Jess, you can let her know.
Yes.
Or, yeah, maybe let her see the
She
end of
could be
it.
one of our warriors for the future.
Yeah, there you go. Yes. Yes, I think so. Sounds like it, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah.
And of course, there are lots of children here that are here to force change. And there's going to be huge changes coming.
Well, children seem to be different. Well, that's a very broad thing to say, but many children are showing early signs, aren't they?
Yes, the conscious awareness is
Yes.
changing, so people will notice children change.
Yeah.
And of course, for parents, these new children coming in are going to be quite difficult to manage from a physical perspective.
Yeah.
As myself, as you know yourself too, my dear.
Yes.
You have one in your own family.
Oh, bless him. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you very much, as always, for your inspiration and your motivation as well, and your positive words and your love. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you, my dear. As you know, we like to laugh.
Yeah.
And it is my saying,
Yeah.
laugh every day. And this is the thing, even when you're going through the most traumatic of days, just laugh to yourself because you'll feel better and change your vibration. Maybe we need to run a laughter group.
Well, there's another idea. There's
Yes.
another idea. Christmas, the holidays, is a very, very difficult time for some people. And I'm sure, there's plenty of people that would like to go to sleep on the 1st of December and wake up on the 1st of January. So
Yes.
perhaps something like that would be a very motivating
An idea
thing
for
to
the
do.
future.
Yes, the laughter group.
Yes.
Like you say, laugh every day.
It's good because, of course, my dear, you've got so much time on your hands.
Yes, it's so much.
Yes. We might need to invoke other people to do some of these tasks.
That's a good idea. Yes, I know the very person. Well, thank you. It's time to close.
Yes, well, thank you, my dear. I've enjoyed our conversation and our laughter, of course.
Of course,
which is nice. And I'd like to embrace everyone and say, welcome to the new year. This is going to be a very interesting time. And just keep your focus in a positive direction.
Yeah.
And basically look away from negativity because it is there to bring your energy
us down.
Yes, and we don't wish to do that. So we wish to stand aside and we walk in a different path.
Yes, walk in the light.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good day, my dear.
Thank you.
I'll bring in Andrew back and we will speak again very soon.
Bye, Chen. Thank you, everybody.